Shalom and welcome to Questions and Answers with Rabbi Eric Tokajer. And our question today comes from Catherine. And Catherine asks, Rabbi, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 in my Bible, it says that Yeshua spoke and said he did not come to abolish the law, but to bring it to fullness. And yet most people teach that in a way that actually expresses it as, I did not come to abolish, but to abolish. In other words, Yeshua is speaking and saying, I didn't come to do away with the law, but then they go on to say, I came to do away with the law, in trying to explain what it's saying. So my question to you, Rabbi, is, what does it mean? What does 5:17 of the book of Matthew mean? And does it show that Yeshua is doing away with the law? Did he come to fulfill it so it can be done away with? Or did he come to fulfill it or bring it to fullness, as the Greek words actually say? Well, to answer your question, the answer is very simple, just what I just said. Yeshua came not to abolish the law, the Torah, and the prophets, which is how we would say the Tanakh or the Old Testament, but he came to bring it to fullness. And the wonderful thing about chapter 5 in the book of Matthew is that chapter 5, the entirety of it, is an example of what Yeshua meant by that. He goes on to talk about he who breaks the least commandment and teaches how to do so shall be least in the kingdom. He that teaches those to do the commandments shall be great in the kingdom. And then he starts giving examples of, you have heard it said, but I say unto you. And he talks about different social problems, different social issues, different commandments, different things going on in Israel as they relate to the Torah. And in his instructions, he says, you have heard it said. In other words, the Torah says this. Now let me unpack that and bring it to fullness. And he talks about many different issues in that chapter. So I encourage you, understand, he did not say, I did not come to abolish the Torah and the prophets. I came to abolish it. But what he actually said was very clearly, I didn't come to do away with or abolish the Torah and the prophets or the Old Testament teachings. I came to bring it to fullness. And then he expressed in the rest of what we call chapter 5 of Matthew, examples of how you bring a commandment to full understanding by going on to say, if you look on a woman to lust, you've committed adultery in your heart. Unpacking, bringing it further understanding. He said, if you call someone a fool, you've committed murder in your heart. And all of these things are him expressing what it means to bring the understanding of the commandments to fullness. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you have a question you'd like to ask, just Facebook message me at Rabbi Eric Tokajer. Shalom.